I used to live in my masculine energy 24/7. I was overworking, overthinking, and constantly in hustle mode. And yet I still felt unseen, unappreciated, and simply just so exhausted. Everything started to change when I stopped forcing and started practicing specific feminine energy habits. My relationships started to shift, my confidence started to grow, and life started to feel way more softer, but somehow way more powerful at the same time. If you've been feeling burned out, disconnected, or simply just in your head, this video is for you. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. My name is Cheyenne Bartley, and I am super happy to have you here. Don't forget to subscribe. Today I'm going to be sharing you the exact habits that took me from being stressed, guarded, to soft, magnetic, and actually feeling at peace. And if you're ready to step into your feminine energy, go ahead and like this video and let's get right into it. Before we dive into these habits, let's clear one thing up. Feminine energy isn't about being passive or weak. It's about receiving instead of constantly chasing, feeling instead of suppressing, flowing instead of forcing, and it's also about magnetism instead of desperation. We all possess both masculine and feminine energy, but a lot of us are stuck in our masculine energy in order to survive. These habits help me rebalance so that I could feel like a woman again and not just a machine trying to get things done. The first habit that changed everything for me was I stopped starting my morning in panic mode. So I used to wake up, grab my phone, check my emails, and then I would instantly feel behind. And that was heavy masculine and chaotic energy. Now my feminine morning routine is a non-negotiable for me. So for the first 20 minutes that I wake up, I do not check my phone. I do not use my phone. I open the curtains to let the natural light in. I make a tea in the morning. My go-to tea is lemon, ginger, and honey. Then I'll spend a few minutes either journaling, stretching, meditating. It's less about what you do and more about the pace. Feminine energy thrives in slowness. When I started to honor that, my whole day felt completely different. I felt so much more calmer and softer, but I still was being very productive. Habit number 2 is I stopped treating getting ready like a chore. I started to make it into a ritual. So instead of throwing on whatever the heck that I had in my closet, I would ask myself this question: how do I want to feel today? Do I want to feel soft? Do I want to feel playful? So then I build a look around that set energy. So I chose clothes that felt good on my skin, accessories that made me feel put together, and a scent that made me feel like that girl. This isn't about dressing to impress others. It's about signaling to yourself that yes, I am worth the extra 5 minutes of care. When you start to enjoy how you look, you start to feel way more magnetic and way more confident. This next habit was super hard for me to learn, and that was learning to receive. So if you struggle with, accepting compliments, feeling guilty when people help you, or constantly saying it's okay or I got it, that right there might be blocking your feminine energy. So what I did, I started small. So when somebody complimented me, I said thank you instead of deflecting it. I allowed people to open the doors for me, carry my bags, and I accepted gifts without feeling like I owed the person or I had to pay back the person. We need to remember that receiving does not make you needy. It makes you open. And the more open you are, the more love, opportunities, and support will flow to you. A huge misconception is that feminine energy is being a people pleaser, but it's actually deeply connected to boundaries. So me personally, I used to either say nothing and then I started to build resentment, or I exploded after holding things in for too long. And neither of those is feminine. Now I practice speaking calmly but clearly, even when I'm upset. I try to stay grounded, breathe, and still choose languages that reflect I feel instead of blaming or attacking the other person. Using I statements was such a game changer for me because it allowed me to express my needs and boundaries without coming across as rude, aggressive, or even defensive. It kept the conversation open instead of turning it into a fight. So for example, instead of snapping at someone or shutting down, I would say these things: I'm not available for that, but thank you for thinking of me. I don't feel comfortable with that. I prefer we did this. I'm feeling overwhelmed right now, so I need some space to regroup. I value our relationship, but I need a little bit more clarity or honesty to feel safe. I know it sounds simple, but speaking this way changes the energy entirely. This completely transformed all of my relationships. I realized that I could be soft and kind without being a doormat or being walked all over. Masculine energy wants to fix things, and feminine energy allows her to feel things. So instead of pushing through stress, I started to do emotional check-ins. I asked myself, what am I feeling right now? Where is this showing up in my body? Do I need rest, comfort, or connection? Sometimes I would journal my thoughts, I would cry it out, or sometimes I would even take a few deep breaths to recenter myself. Allowing myself to feel these emotions instead of feeling shameful really helped me to feel grounded. Being soft with myself allowed me to be soft for others. We need to remember that feminine energy is creative and it loves to play. I started to realize that my life became work, errands, responsibility, and repeat. And it made sense why I felt so drained. So I started to add little moments of play throughout my day. So that's either dancing in the kitchen while I'm cooking or cleaning, making a vision board every December, or trying a new recipe for fun. There doesn't need to be a goal. The point is joy and to have fun. When I gave myself permission to start to really enjoy life again, my energy shifted from being dull to being super radiant. Habit number 7 is soothing your nervous system. You cannot be in your feminine energy if you are constantly in fight or flight mode. What I did, I started prioritizing safety in my body. So whenever I was triggered, I would take slow, deep breaths, and I'd put my hand on my heart and say, I am safe. Then I'd take a walk either outside or my walking pad without my phone. So the calmer my body felt, the easier it was for me to feel soft, intuitive, and open. So the calm, grounded presence that you see, this is the glow that you see in women who are just unbothered. So those are my 7 habits. Obviously, you don't need to do all 7 habits. I want you to choose one habit to focus on this week. So comment down below which habit you're choosing. So if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up so that other women who are stepping into their feminine energy could find it. Don't forget to subscribe for more videos, and I will see you guys next week. Bye everyone.